Hi guys, Big Bob Mulgrew here. Got a quick unboxing in for you with an XFX power supply. It's from the Pro Series, 850 watt power supply. It's from the XFX semi-modular range as well. Just quickly before we get to the unboxing, I'm going to hold it up to the camera and try and get you a close-up of all the marketing bump on the box so you can have a read. If you want to have a proper read, pause the video. As soon as I get a decent focus on it, I'm going to flip to the other side. You'll notice that sort of the reflectivity of the box makes it quite awkward to get this, but it's not the camera. You do really have to catch a lot of it in the right light. They've improved that a little, but it is still quite awkward to get a view without the flash on. You can't read any. It's hard to read any of it with the flash on. Just get a reflection. Right, so that's it. Let's get to it. Right, manual. I do much prefer the packaging on the Corsair power supplies, but at the end of the day, I'd rather they spend money making it a better power supply than giving me fancy packaging. Okay, so we've got a box of cables. We'll go through the box of cables in a moment. Rather awkwardly on this, we have power cable hidden in the bottom. It's not too bad as long as you're not planning on putting it away again, but I am. Yeah, it's not as well packaged as some power supplies. The Corsair ones that I usually use come much better packaged. The foam and all the protection in the box is much better than this. See, I'm not too bothered from a cosmetic perspective, but it would be nice if this had a little bit better protection to protect it from the idiots that quite often deliver this. And first off, let's go through what cables we've got attached to it, and then we'll have a closer look at the unit itself. If I can get this off. Probably not the best idea to wear my gloves for this. Right. So as you'd expect, we've got the 20+4 pin for your motherboard. We've got 2 PCI Express 6+2 and the CPU 4+4. So they're the ones that comes with it. To be honest, with a modular, I'd have kind of expected maybe only one PCI Express, but it's not a big deal. Most people using a power supply this size would at least be considering putting a second GPU in, or a GPU that will require two power cables. Not really being as gentle as I should be there. Right, I do quite like the styling on these. It used to be a little bit more aggressive and a little bit more elaborate, but still, the styling on these is very nice. It's got a really nice finish to it. I've always liked that about XFX stuff. The styling's always really nice. If you do decide to get one of these, the XFX lettering on the back has got a little bit of plastic over it, so don't forget to remove that. Not that it'll cause any problems if you don't, but probably best if you do. There's also a plastic cover on this, so make sure you remove that. Right, onto the back. See, we've got a nice little array of plugs, and they're labelled up for what we need to plug into them. So let's have a quick dig through what cables we actually get. Right, as you may be able to see, the cables that are pre-attached to the power supply are braided. The additional cables that come with it are not. Now they're these sort of neat ones where the cables are glued together tightly, but I'd still much prefer having braided cable. They look a lot nicer in a system. I mean, if you buy in this sort of power supply 850 watts, you're probably a gamer and enthusiast and you like your PC to look nice and neat. So it would have been a nice touch if they'd have braided these, but it's not a big deal. Right, so let's have a look what we've got. We've got a PCIe 1. Again, it's got two PCIe 6+2 heads and the end for the power supply. We've got our CPU 1, 4+4. No, sorry, that doesn't split apart. That's just an 8-pin. Okay, fair enough. We've got a Molex adapter for a floppy drive. Don't think I'll be using one of those. We've got a SATA with 1, 2, 3, 4 heads on it. We've got another SATA with 1, 2, 3, 4 heads on it. We've got another SATA with 2 heads on it. Now this is something I quite like. I mean, with a lot of modular power supplies, they'll ship you a load of cables with it, and sometimes you'll only get cables with 4 heads on. And the whole idea of a modular power supply is to reduce the amount of cables you're using. And when I get a power supply and I have to I'll put one SATA cable in for the hard drives, and sometimes you'll need to put another power cable in for the CD-ROM. It would be nice to have one that's just got 1 or 2 heads, so you don't end up having 3 spare heads dangling out. You know, it's a bit of a waste of space. So it's a nice touch that they're giving me the options with these. I imagine you could buy these separately. I've not looked for this power supply. I know you used to be able to buy this sort of thing separately. I'm sure you'll find a load on eBay and places like that where people are selling their spares. So if you do decide you need ones with just 4 heads on, by all means have a look around eBay and places like that. You should be able to find a 4-headed one if you really need it. We've got another Molex with 1, 2, 3 heads, and we've got a Molex with 2 heads. Again, I quite like that. In PCs I've been building for the last few years, the only reason I use Molexes is to connect the fans. Most of the gaming PCs I build are with a Sabertooth motherboard that's got a lot of fan connectors, so a lot of the time I don't need Molexes, and when I do, I only need maybe 1 or 2 for a fan. So being able to plug just 2 in and not waste a load of extra cabling and clogging up my system, that's a nice touch. I do like being able to only have 2. So yeah, all in all, not too bad. These could be better. It would be nice to see them braided, but it's not a big deal. Just getting quickly to the features. Having a quick look around the internet, you'll notice that most of the reviews say about this, even running into a heavy load, it's very, very stable. I mean, it's very stable anyway, but under heavy load, it's pretty good stability wise. Money wise, usually you'll find the Corsair equivalent is only a couple of quid more. And personally, I'm niggling, but build quality wise, the Corsair one feels a little bit better. The packaging's a little bit better. It's not a big deal, but considering it's only a few quid difference in price, my money would go with the Corsair, but this is still a very good power supply. Again, if you look round and look at all the detailed reviews where they do all the massive technical tests, you'll find that in most areas this power supply would pass the silver rating. But this has only got a bronze rating. I don't quite know what that is. I've not gone through all the technical details of it yet. Another good plus point, it uses Japanese capacitors that run up to 105 degrees. Again, if you look at all the technical reviews, you'll note that it's never going to get up to that temperature, not even close. Even if you've got a really, really hot system, it's unlikely it's going to get above 50, 60 degrees in there. But the fact that they'll run up to 105 degrees, it shows you that they're good quality. You would expect to get some good lifespan out of this power supply. Another good point, it's 850 watts. All the marketing bump says it's true wattage, if you can read that. Obviously, a lot of power supplies advertise their theoretical maximums, what they'll peak at and stuff like that. They cheat a bit with marketing to say it's a bigger power supply than it is. This will run 850 watts or close to it pretty stably. I would always advocate having some overhead room anyway, but I've read some tests on this. You know, it will run what it says it'll run. You see some power supplies that are advertised at 1,000 watts, and realistically, if you put sort of 600-700 watts through them in the wrong way, you can burn them out. This you would expect to get what it says on the box, or at least close to. Like I say, I still prefer to have plenty of overhead. It's never a good idea to stress a power supply. If you were running 850 watts, I would recommend you get something like a 1,000 watt CPU or even a 1,200 watt. And to be honest, if you're using that much money, spending a little bit more and getting a gold would probably pay for itself. But all in all, it's a good power supply. My money would personally go on the Corsair for if you could source it for only a few quid more, which you usually can. But it is a good power supply. The styling's good. The quality is good. It's not quite as good as the Corsair, but I'm nitpicking. It's not a big deal. So it would certainly not be a bad buy. I wouldn't be unhappy if somebody bought me one of these. Right, I think that's pretty much it. I'll get to boxing this up. If you want to see more videos like this, like the video, comment, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you all in a video soon.